Ah, there I am. Whoa, that is bright. Just a second. I'm gonna try to turn the light off. See if that's better. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes to let everybody get on. I hope everybody get your pens and notebooks or something to write with. Doesn't have to be a pen, but literally something to write with. Let's go. Put that on. Get some light in here. Okay, whatever. But you can see a beautiful board behind me that I will be using and getting into that topic right there. But so I'm gonna wait a little bit, but we can get right into it. Yes, please have your something to write with, something to write on. This course, this class I'm teaching has really come about because I want to help as many hairstylists as I can. After the past year or so coaching in my 3-month mentorship, the biggest thing I do help people with is understanding the numbers. It is redundant amount of people who have really no clarity on why they charge what they charge. And I am nonstop tagged from people I've worked with in Facebook groups of hairstylists who just ask other random hairstylists what they're charging, which I can't explain how much it irks me knowing that it's so irrelevant what someone across the country is charging. And you're thinking you could relate your prices to theirs. Hey, the biggest factor on your pricing is your living expenses. If you're not making the money you need to make to live your life, you'll always be in a hamster wheel. And that's, I was a hairstylist too, but I understood money probably before I even did hair. But I didn't know this formula until probably my second year into doing hair. Just the clarity and understanding how to break it down for each client. And I will show you everybody on this call will get 2 examples to understand your numbers every day. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it is very clear to me. And I do get these messages of hairstylists I've worked with. I've worked with over 80 hairstylists now, one-on-one in my 3-month mentorship program that just come back and thank me and express like how much money they're saving, because there's 2 ways to keep money: making money and saving money. But if you can learn how to make the money past the expenses that you have every month and you start saving more, you've literally made more in the long run, both by saving and earning and keeping the money. So it just makes me feel good. So I was like, well, what is something I can do that helps everybody, that requires a little of my time? And again, I plan on making these classes bigger to help more people. I do plan on opening or starting seminars where I can have, an audience of 200-300 people. Obviously, a little bit down the line, but you got to start somewhere. Just like everything I teach and preach that you guys see, you got to start to make something, a snowball effect, basically. So yes, all right. I don't want to waste your time. I want to get right into it again. Please take notes and write everything down. The first thing I'm going to start with is a website to use to understand your taxes. So everybody has different numbers. So you can understand this on a daily tax percentage or weekly or monthly, however you want to do it. But it is literally talent. I don't know if you guys see it, talent.com. And then you'll hit the menu button up here and go to tax calculator. And then you can put whatever, obviously state, percentage and all that. So bookmark that, use that. That is part of the equation that allows you to have 100% certainty of what you get to put in what I call top drawer money, which is your true savings, moving forward with that. So yeah, nonetheless, I'm going to get right into it and we can get the ball rolling. So I'm going to hold all questions. Some of you have been aware. Okay, first, holding all questions because I can answer a million questions. Also, you should have got a link to an offer I'm allowing, which is something I have never allowed. I'm only allowing it. Really, it's something I go into only my 3-month mentorship program. It's the VIP offer. I've done this because I have numerous people who are in today's call that reached out and said, hey, could you like address my question? How much time do we have for questions? And this is only half an hour, so we're not going to have time to really, if I go over one person's, all their questions in this call, it's kind of unfair to everybody else. So I created this, something that I think is priced in your favor, that allows you to get on a call with me and we can do a deep one-on-one dive into all your numbers and give you 1000% clarity on how to move forward starting the next day after the call that we get. But again, this is going to be a significant amount of information, obviously a little bit broader because we have salon owners, we have commission stylists here, we have booth renters. So we have a variety of people that this equation, this formula that I use, covers everything. But again, it's like that fine tuning and understanding without a doubt what that end of the day number looks like that you can put in your top drawer or your savings. So I'm going to go into it now. And again, if you have any questions, you have the email, you have the offer, and I hope I can help you. Or you can just DM me or comment or whatever, but I'm fully accessible. So the first thing I got to get into is the one thing that earns us money is something called what we charge. The only way we make money every day based on what we charge a client. But you can't just charge blindly. We can't just say, oh, I think this should be $225. No. There's a structure to make sure that that percentage or that cost reflects living expense, operating cost, and product cost. All three of these is how you get this. Without a doubt, you have to take in consider all three of these structures into how to get your charge. So what you charge has a full breakdown to pay. So what you earn from the client, you have to pay for your product, you have to pay for your operating expenses, and you have to pay for your living expenses. Unfortunately, a lot of hairstylists that I work with, they are so consumed on what they make in the day or what they charge on that they forget that we are actually just working money, pay for what we do outside of the salon. So again, living cost, expense, whatever you want to go call it, is the biggest determining factor on what you have. After you have all these covered, after what you charge has paid for all of these, that's called your break-even number. And I'll get into that. After your break-even number, then you can take out your taxes and add your tips. But I put these over here because these usually weigh out each other. Usually you'll make more tips than you do in taxes that you have to pay for a client. After that, you get your true profit. True profit means this is 100% of what you get to tip at who? After taxes and pay for all your expenses. Only then you get to decide what you do with this money. You put it into savings, you put it into investments. I always suggest put it both into savings and investments. Investments as far as anything that you thought was something as a side hustle, expanding your salon, adding more chairs, anything that can make you more money without taking more of your time. Well, everything takes you, but less effort, more money. That would be investment. With those investments, then money comes financial freedom. That financial freedom basically lands you with talking money. As long as your investments are making you money, you get to save more money based off the true profit you're earning from what you charge clients. Is it all making sense? Because I hope it is. This is as easy of a breakdown as I can explain when you see a full funnel of how you end up here from the simple charge, a haircut, a root coverage, braid coverage, single process, full head volume, whatever the service may be. This is how you get to the end. But without understanding these three steps, these three numbers, you're just charging a guesstimate. What are you charging? Oh, what are you charging? What does everybody charge around here? Okay, so I can charge around now. I can charge a little less because I'm not sure if I'm that good. I'm not that busy. Well, then you will also be in the hamster wheel of trying to live the life you want to live, not knowing if you can live that. And that's why majority of Americans are in significant debt because they don't even know what they're making can support how they're living. All right, screen 2. Now, this is a full detail on hairstyles I'm working with in my program. This was a couple days ago, actually last week. But I'm going to give a full breakdown of how we get here. So, her product cost. So, a bold whitener, the whitener she uses, for 2 ounces of that bleach, costs her $3.50. A developer is 36 cents for 1 ounce. She uses a 1:2 ratio. So, color for this example, she was using red pink shades. She pays $10, 2 ounces. A bonder that she uses when broken down, it's $3 per use. And other, something I work with all my hairstylists, there's about 15, 20, 25, and 30, what I consider other category, which covers your gloves, your oils, your basic shampoo and conditioner, and styling products. The only time that increases from the 15, 20, 25, 30 is amount of foil. So this was a little bit less than a full foil turn. So we did the 25. And this is, after doing many breakdowns with over 80 hairstylists, I've come to this conclusion that this is a fair number. But again, this is a little bit more nitty-gritty where we work together on the one-on-one. These numbers I can break down for you so you know exactly how much bulk each costs for you based on the brand you use and how much you pay for it and how much you get out of it. But this is her breakdown. Her operation costs, which means her chair rental every month, is $1,800. The food she buys while at the salon, for example, every morning she gets Starbucks, she gets some coffee, some food. So over the month she spends about $400 in food, $28 in insurance. So her total cost of operations every month is $2,228, and we divide that amongst how many days a month she works. She works 20 days every month. So you take the total of what her expenses are every month, and we break it down per day. So per day, she needs to earn $111.40, and that's on the daily. So for this example, I didn't round it up because I want to explain to you on the call, but I usually round these numbers up. So really, I would be telling you if you're on the 1-1, push this to 112, cover your ass, makes the numbers easier. Living expense. So these all living expenses that are going to be customized to you. This is the most important thing that I work on for a minimum of a month. Not my consistent calls, but over a month, working with every hairstylist I work with, and then keeping track daily and then weekly of what they're spending. And most people that I work with have undershot what they actually spend by about a minimum of $200-300. That's a lot of money when you think about it, in my opinion. So nonetheless, her mortgage was $200,200, utilities about $100 a month, health insurance $375, food $500, hobbies $300, car insurance, car payment $850, other $400. So every month she needs to earn $5,425. Break that down by the day. She works 20 days a month, so 5,425 divided by 20. That equals $271.25. Again, I will work together. I'd be having to round up to 272. So now there's going to be 2 examples. Screen 3 and screen 4 are the 2 versions of how you can break it down to understand every day what you're earning and what you get to keep. But this is the broader answer, and the one I'm going to show you right now is the more detailed one. I highly suggest working on this one because, or going off this format, because you get to understand each service that you're actually. So it is important, and let me get into this. It is important to understand how much you're making per service. This allows you to know what the profit margin is for each service. So for example, the way I explain it, it's called inventory. Like all your clients, like say you have, for example, I work with a hairstylist. She thought she was doing a lot of balayages, but come to find out, she was doing like 20 to 25 root coverage clients a month and only about 14 balayages, but she loved balayages. So she felt like she was just doing more of them than she really was. So she learned that her profit margin wasn't very big in her services, but she was making enough money and paying the bills. But she didn't realize like she could be making more money with the existing clients she has. And that's where I work on upsells those clients. For example, the same stylist. We did an upsell to her existing haircuts and gray coverage clients. And within the first month, she was bringing in an extra $5,400. Oh, I'm sorry, 1,500. Like, yeah, 1,500, not 1,400. Yeah, it was 1,500 for the first month earnings. I remember we did the calculation for the 3 months, and it was like $5,400 extra, which is great because she upsold. But the not this one, but the last screen I'm going to show you is the best way to understand how you're making the most money. And I highly suggest that you should gear towards where you're making the most profit based on the time spent. So, nonetheless, I'm going to get back to you. So, back to this. So, every day's breakdown, you're going to do it by the amount of clients you have. So, again, remember these numbers. 111.40 and 271.25 divided by 3 clients that day. Divided by 3 clients that day. So that number, the operating cost, 111 divided by 3, because you have 3 clients that day, equals about $38 per client. Living expense, after it was broken down, after 271.25 was broken down over the clients, about $91 per client for 3 days. I mean, for 3 days, 3 clients a day. Something my words getting a little bit. Let me do that one time. So based on this day, 3 clients, her operating cost over 3 clients was $38 each, and this one was $90. I get a little ahead of this. So again, so client number 1, for her product cost alone, after adding up all her products that she used, was $35. Her daily operation cost was $38. Her living expense was $91. So her break even, she paid for her product, her living expenses, and her operating was $161. She charged the client $600. So the service, she's in high-end California, very fancy salon. So her numbers, her full head or almost full head highlight was 600, minus the expenses of 164, left her with a profit margin of 436. That profit, that number that I gave you did not reflect her taxes or her tips, but again, those usually she ends up with a little bit more money based off the tips she makes. But nonetheless, I'm just doing off these numbers so it's similar for everybody. Client number 2. This is a true full head highlight. Her product cost was $40, operating cost was $38, living expense $91, her break even was $169. She charges client $725 for the full head highlight. So you take the $725, which she earned, minus the expenses she had, left her with $556 profit before taxes and tips. Client number 3, $35 in product, $38 in operation fee, and our cost, $91 in living cost. So her break-even number was $164. She charged $625 for the service. So 625 minus 164 leaves her $461 before tips and taxes. So this is a full day, and this will change. So if she has 2 clients, these numbers would look completely different. She had 1 client that day. These numbers would look completely different. She had 5 clients. It will reflect based on how many clients you have that day, which is fine. Some days, sometimes, and often, that client, that hairstylist I work with actually go negative, and they have to carry over. For example, the stylist I just worked with, she went negative $57 in a day. So don't worry, just take that negative and carry it over into the next day. So it's just a math equation. It's just consistent understanding of the numbers you earn every day. And then at the end of the week, tally it all up, and then you know how much you should be saving and earning tax, all expenses. So never feel, of course, we want to make money every day, but don't ever feel some type of way if you didn't make money that day. Just carry it over, understand your numbers, so you can bring back numbers. And that's what's the main idea of this? Let's go to number 3, 4. So slide 4. Option B. Option B is a macro view, a full view. So it is all your expenses that day and subtracted from your total earnings that day. So again, for this hairstylist, for total earnings for the day, client 1, 2, and 3 added all up. She earned, without tips, $1,950. Her total expenses for the day, operating expenses, and living expenses for that day would have been $492.65. So once you take so what you do is take the total earnings minus total expenses, because ideally we want your earnings to be more than your expenses. That's how we make money. So she was left with $1,457.37 before taxes and tips. But again, depending on what state you're from, just go on talent.com, go to the menu button, and use the tax calculator, and she could throw in the federal and state income tax for California, and she would understand how much money she's keeping. And obviously, tips included. So this is the full breakdown. And again, understanding what you charge is the most important thing you can do. And what you charge has to significantly reflect paying for your product, paying for your operation expenses, and paying for your living expenses on a daily basis. I can go into it more in detail as far as how you get there. So look at it this way, if you're heavily in demand, you should be increasing your pricing. Like your price increases, if anybody's here and needs and requires more than a $20 end of ticket price increase, you've waited too long. A price increase should happen for 2 reasons: demand and time. So for example, every 6 months, depending on where you're at, your financial position, and your service execution level, I would say you should be increasing your prices about $5 to $10 end of ticket, which means like your balayage was, $225, it should now be $235. Not a big jump. People expect it. Things increase. The next thing is demand. If you're heavily in demand and you find yourself doing services you don't love to do, price increase enough where it makes sense to do the services that you don't want to do. I call it the a-hole fee. So I basically charge enough to say, well, when I was behind the chair, okay, if you're willing to pay me this much, I'll do your hair. I don't want to do it, but for this price, it makes sense for me. But again, you have to understand, these low-end services don't get your name said. Like, who walks around saying, oh my God, you have such great coverage, or oh my God, you do get the most beautiful trim. These are low tier. You have to have big results for big word of mouth. And that is how you bring enough, obviously social media, but next to social media, the biggest thing is in-person impact, I call it. Like when you see someone and you go, wow, your hair is gorgeous, who do you go to? That's the strongest thing you can do. Obviously social media, I can build your social media, you can get mass awareness, but I'm gonna say still, 70% of who books with you has seen your work in person. So again, that goes back to in demand. If you're in demand and you want to do higher end services, just get rid of the clients. For example, Marshall. I worked with Marshall, and she was doing a lot of service she didn't want to do. She went up in her prices, started focusing on the higher level blondes that she was great at and executed perfectly. And that was her biggest word of mouth. She focused on those girls, those clients. And within her first month, it's actually on my page, a post on my page where she says, it's my first week back. I've already did, I believe it was like $6,000 or $6,500, and she still had like 5 clients left. I think it was like 5,000 something. Her first week. Are we hearing this? Her first week, almost $6,000, and she still had 5 clients left. So, and that's when I go back to when we, again, the one-on-one that I do, we talk about your inventory. Like, where can we make more money with clients you currently have? Marshall didn't earn that type of money in that week by going and getting new clients at a higher price. She effectively worked with who she had, and whoever left her, cool, you can leave her because I'm already making more money. And now by you leaving, whoever these clients are, she is making more money from the new time and the new clients she has to spend with those clients. The time she has available, spending it on higher tier, higher word of mouth potential clients. So I strongly suggest to stop. Once you know these numbers, immediately stop emotionally charging. And if you break these down, you should get off this call, off this meeting immediately and do this for yourself. Or, hey, book your one-on-one with me. Little plug. Highly recommend, because boy, you will leave that meeting. I guarantee you leave that meeting with full clarity and ready to roll to earn an extra $1,000 next month. I can almost guarantee you everybody I've worked with has happened for. So great investment. But nonetheless, you should be able to take these numbers and confidently go, wow, I need to be making more, stop emotionally charging. Effectively, I need to build out a communication with my current clients on how I'm increasing my price. Because as much as we think our clients love us, they love us for the service we offer, but we have to love us more than we love doing their hair and cover our price. Like, what do you plan on doing for retirement? What type of savings do you have? Is there a structured savings you have? Where's the money going to come from when you stop doing hair? Who knows if you're going to be doing hair for that long? Like, you should be effectively either having a proper savings and investments that earns you more money, or planning a retirement. So that is my little rant. I'm going to send this recording to all of you guys. You can watch as much as you feel like it, and that's why I've decided to record this and send it back to you all. But yeah, so again, but if you want the one-on-one with me, where's my notes? I took little notes, just the offer I sent you. Okay, so you get the 30 minutes full one-on-one with me. You get to give me information. When you go to book the call, you get to give me all your information prior to getting that call, so we get on that call with the ball rolling, and I have full comprehension of your numbers. So we're not on that call just like trying to figure out things. You get a 100% breakdown of your exact numbers. That's including breakdown of your product numbers, your daily operation costs, and your daily living expenses. Go over a full day of your clients. So we will literally walk through the day before clients or the day after or the next day. I will give you full clarity of what you get to save from yesterday's clients or what you will save for from tomorrow's clients. So you basically walk it through with me from start to finish, so you can move forward every day for the rest of your career, having complete understanding comprehension of what you get to keep. Understanding how to make more money with the clients you do have. I just talked about that. That's the Marshall story. Upselling each client you have, understanding the price increase that you should and do deserve. And then a price increase communication with the clients, how to communicate this with clients. Again, a lot of people are scared to hit that, create that message and hit send. I promise you, this is just lives in your head. This fear only lives in your head because I've literally probably made about 20 messages with over the 80 hairstyles I've worked with. I'll create the message for you if I have to, but it's just saying, hey, I have, based on my, current market or not market, but economy and prices increase, like I will just come up with a communication that works for you, that you feel comfortable with hitting send. And once you send it, I have yet to have any stylist I work with that's lost more than 4 clients. And guess who leaves? The low tier clients that allow you to have more time to take the higher tier clients. And if you don't have high tier clients, we can work on that too. No problem. But that is my full breakdown. And I appreciate you guys taking your time and coming to learn from me. I kind of made it my mission for 2024 to help as many people as I can and as many hairstylists, because for the foreseeable future of the next year and a half, I think things are going to be not so pretty. So if I can do what I can do and give back, maybe with over we have for 54 people on this call right now, hopefully half of you come back and go, wow, like I'm gonna let you know, like you saved my career. Because this numbers is we only work to accumulate numbers. We live and we spend numbers. Everything we buy, what do we look at? The number that's associated to it. So understanding your numbers, I can't express how substantial and like, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but it is the most important thing that we all live by, every human. We buy things and we earn money And these are all just numbers. You have to understand your numbers. So with that being said, meeting adjourned. I hope to work with some of you on the one-on-one. If not, I will see you around and you know where to find me. Bye, guys.